What's going on, guys? Long time no see. I just been, taking care of things with life. All is well here. Hope all is well with you guys. As you can see, I have a table full of different items. Some of these are mine, some of these are not. I just kind of wanted to come back and give you guys an update of some of the things that have come across my table and some of the things that I've been up to. So first, I'll start from left to right. This right here is the Prometheus Design Works Invictus. And honestly, I don't know a ton about this knife, but I do have the website pulled up right here. The first things I'll tell you, when I pulled this out of the box, this is not my knife. This is a knife for a buddy. Same thing with this knife here, this green Emerson CQC8. That is also a knife for a buddy that I'm just holding. But the first thing I noticed when I pulled this knife out of the box was the thumb studs here. Let's see if I can get it to focus. The thumb studs here have these inserts. Now I mentioned this in one of my group chats, and one of the guys said I think he said it's tritium. I don't think it's tritium, but here it does say that it has glow-in-the-dark inlays, dual thumb studs with dive watch grade glow-in-the-dark inlays. And the big thing about this, I don't know if you guys can see that from the first angle, but it's like a little tiny BB, for lack of a better term, like a sphere that's been pressed into the end of the thumb stud. So you kind of get rid of all of that stuff guys used to complain about with Chris Reeves thumb studs, where it has that kind of a feeling where it digs into your finger. My friend, that's one of the first things he told me about the knife before I even took it out of the box, was that it's a little bit awkward to open up. And you do have to do that kind of a Chris Reeves thing where you have to push up like this and not kind of out like this. But the detent is also very snappy. There we go. So it has a pretty good detent. This is a ceramic ball detent, which I thought was pretty cool. The milling is the other thing that really stood out to me. I didn't know that this was an integral knife, with a faux bolster. I don't know why my focus is off today, but it's an integral knife with a faux bolster. So this is all one piece of titanium. I hope that's in focus. There we go. So this is all one piece of titanium with just G10 overlays, which I thought was pretty cool. The centering is spot on. The milling, even down here, is pretty crazy. I mean, even around the pivot, just everywhere. Everything here is just really done really well. The blade steel is M390, Bowler M390. It is a 3.5 inch blade. There is also milling here with the jimping on the back of the knife, which I don't really know of a time jimping has really come in handy for me on a knife per se, but it is done very well. The built-in lanyard hole here I thought was pretty cool. The lockup is a little bit early. The one thing that I did notice, and I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it has ball bearings, and I don't know if those are ceramic. Give me 1 second. Let me look. I'm sure I'm going to get killed in the comments for not knowing everything about this knife, but hey, it is what it is. I don't claim to know everything about everything. Okay, I don't see where it says anything about the ball bearings here, at least not quick enough for me to read through everything. But oh yeah, it says ceramic ball bearings, and you can kind of hear that. I thought that it was maybe a little bit dry, but maybe it's just those ceramic ball bearings and that's the way they sound. But I'm gonna give my buddy some of that Interfline that I showed a few videos ago to put in here and try out on this knife. But the action is pretty smooth, but it sounds like it's a little bit dry, like maybe some oil could help that out. So I thought that was pretty cool. And as always, Prometheus Design Works, their packaging is top notch. So I don't know if this came with the knife, but this was also in the box. This came from another guy, so this is a secondhand knife. But it did come with this nice pouch. that had the cleaning cloth, and it came in a nice plastic bag on top of that. And then the openings, there's another opening here where the knife was at. The openings are on opposite ends, so that way you don't scratch the knife or anything like that. So I thought that was pretty cool. The other thing that came across my table for my buddy was this knife here that we've been talking about. If you know, I have really enjoyed this CQC8 here. You can see it's definitely a knife that I've used. I've sharpened it. It's not the prettiest. It's not the prettiest edge, but it is very sharp. On the back, you can really see where I sharpened it, because I kind of laid it down on the stone a little bit too much and roughed up that finish. Not that I care. But I had been talking about this with my buddy. My buddy ended up picking up a mini CQC8, a Horseman, and he thought he was going to like that knife, but he said that he really thought it was a little bit smaller than what he imagined in his mind. So he ended up wanting to pick up a full-size CQC8, and he and I had been talking about the fact that over the summer, Emerson, they started coming out with production options as far as handle scales for certain knife models. And this is one of those knife models. I think you can get black Richlite, you can get the regular black G10, you can get this green peel ply G10, which still has a lot of texture, true to Emerson's usual characteristics, usual traits. And maybe there's one more, but I know that there's the black Richlite, the regular standard black G10, and then there's this green. And I've been talking with him, apparently, and I need to look into it, but apparently if you have a knife already that has the option now to have different scales added, you can send your knife back to Emerson and they will swap the scales out for you, obviously at a cost, and then send it back to you. I kind of want the green scales, but I kind of don't want to have to send my knife in. No knock on Emerson. I have no issues with Emerson, but scales are something I feel like I can swap out. And I'm sure you guys already know they have, which I totally get it. They've switched over to UPS instead of USPS because of all the shipping problems that USPS has had. And shipping with Emerson right now is going to run you about $20, give or take. So you're going to be in a pretty good amount of money just for a scale swap. So I'm still on the fence about that, but man, I really like this knife here. It's got that satin blade finish. And you can see here, it's got the, you can still see those grind lines, which I always enjoy. The lockup is a little bit early, but good. I mean, let me shut up so you can hear it, but there's little to no lock stick. The blade is centered. The action is pretty smooth. I've only opened and closed this knife maybe about 10 times. The detent is strong. I mean, this is just a great knife overall. This wasn't the factory clip that came on mine, so it looks like they've also switched up the clip a little bit, which is pretty cool. They've got that old school Emerson design on the clip there. I hope you can see. So I'm really enjoying what Emerson is doing these days. And I'll hold these side by side so you can kind of see them now. Granted, I did sand down these scales so that the texture is a little bit smoother, so that way I'm not tearing up my pockets. But you can see it's the same exact knife, just in two different scale options. I do have, if you're wondering, this is an AR-15 style bolt. Let me put this down so we can focus in on here. An AR-15 style bolt made by Pete Gray of Gray Precision. This is zirconium, so that's pretty cool. I'm not a lanyard guy, but I ended up getting this when I had the Purple Haze mini CQC8, and I figured I would keep it on there, just as a nice little extra. I do have the We the People clip on mine, which I enjoy, and this knife is just smoothed out so much. There's little to no stick. Lockup has only moved a little bit. I mean, Emerson just really, I know a lot of people talk about Emerson and fit and finish and quality and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I really think you need to ask people when they handled an Emerson last, because Emerson over the past 7 to 10 years really has turned into a different type of a company. They've really put some refinements. Now, this is still a tool. This is still a tool. This is not going to be CRK level fit and finish, but what people were talking about back in the 90s, the early 2000s, Emerson is no longer that company. So I really think that if you hear those types of things, really talk to people and ask them the last time they handled an Emerson and what year that Emerson was made. I think you guys would be surprised, but I just wanted to bring that to you guys and show you all what's been going on. I am going to shoot another video I'll drop later this week about the stones back here. These are the Veneve diamond stones, bonded diamond stones. And I can't, they're not diamond because I know that's another whole debate that people like to get into in the comment section. They're not actual diamond. They're like synthetic diamond. So, but they still cut well. And then I'm also going to talk about this here, which I didn't do what I've been carrying lately. This is my Endura and K390. I have been carrying this. You can see, I know this is what I'm always talking about. You guys are really always talking about rust and patina and needing a stainless steel. I have not done anything to this blade besides put it in my pocket and use it. No oil, no anything. You can see there's a little bit of darkening right here where my thumb hits the blade, but guys, I just have not experienced those issues. And I live in the Southeast where it's hot, it's humid, it's been pretty rainy and nasty here over the past few weeks. I don't do anything in particular. I just put the knife in my pocket and I use it, and I just don't have those issues winter, spring, summer, or fall. And if anybody has been down here, you know we pretty much have like a fall and a summer. There really is no other season. So, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully there wasn't too much rambling. I look forward to catching you guys in the next one. And remember, a lazy man carries a dull